today's project, I'm going to show you how to make a sock bunny. Yes, this is made out of sock, and this bunny is wearing a tutu. I'll show you how to sculpt the face, how to sculpt the arms, and just how to make the body. So let's have fun. For this project, you will need felt, 2 buttons. They come in a set of 4. They're perfectly round, almost. Thread to coordinate with the color of your socks, sewing needles, good pair of scissors, and tulle of your choice of color, and ladies' hairband. Pins and filler, cotton filling. Socks come in pairs, but you only need 1. Okay, this is going to be the nose right here. We're going to cut off the ears. We're going to leave enough to make a good head. And then we take our toe pieces and we're going to split it right down the middle. Turn the sock inside out and pin it together where we're going to sew it. Turn your ears inside out, and you want to trim it a little bit to make it a little thinner. I think I could have done it a little bit thinner than I actually did. And then with a needle and thread, we're going to sew those together so that we have a solid piece, and then we'll stuff our head and body. Don't stuff it too hard. You want it to be soft. To form the head, I used a rubber band to hold it, and then I tied a string around it. Then I removed the rubber band. Now, to get rid of the 2 points that are sticking out, pull them together and stitch them down. This also makes the top of the head a little bit more narrow. To form the legs, we're going to stitch from the crotch down to the base of the legs to form 2 legs. You might need to add just a little bit more stuffing towards the end. Then we're going to close up the feet with some felt. I'm using pink. First cut 2 squares of equal size, cut off the corners, and then just go once around again, trimming it off, trying to make as close as you can to a good circle. And then we hand stitch them all the way around to secure the bottom. This way the stuffing won't fall out, and the bottoms of the feet will look pink. She can almost stand up. We stitch up both of the ears, turn them inside out, and then we're going to add some pink felt. So cut 2 narrow strips, make the top end a little bit more narrow, and then stitch it all the way up and down the other side. There's no need for any stuffing inside of the ears. We're just going to leave them just like that. Now I like to pinch them together at the front because it just kind of looks more natural, makes it a little narrow, almost makes a little hole in there. We're going to roll the edge over so it looks finished. We don't have a raw edge. And then pin it, and then very carefully sew all the way around. Now the back of the ear is kind of pulled out a little bit. It kind of shapes the ears so that they sort of stand up. The sock itself is a little bit stiff, especially with the felt in it, so that the ears will actually stand up and there won't be floppy ears. And it is a little challenging to get those ears on exactly straight. I think I got one of them on just a little bit crooked. The last one I made, the same thing happen. But just do the best you can. If it's a little bit crooked, oh well, you just add a little extra personality. Now for the eyes. You'll need a very long needle and your 2 buttons. So we're going to squeeze the head a little bit. You don't want to squeeze it too tight. Get 1 button secure, and each time you pass through, make sure you're going through the little loop on the back of the button. And you want to go back and forth several times from left to right, right to left, and vice versa until they are very secure, because you don't want these buttons falling off and being a choking hazard to a child. And then when you're all finished, we're gonna shape the nose. So I kind of pull it from the eye into the nose, the center of the nose, and we're gonna stitch downward, pulling it just a little bit to kind of bring up the center, dividing his cheek, and then we're gonna work our way around the cheek, kind of pulling it in just a little bit to create that little bit of a curve, the shape of his cheek. And then you finish in the very center again, and we'll go down the same place in the middle and make the curve on the other side of the cheek. And this is what you call sculpting with a needle. Don't pull it too tight. Really check your shape constantly to make sure that it's, what you want it to be. Now for our nose, you want to cut out the shape you need, and we'll start stitching it on. I'm going to use the same thread that I was using before. And we'll start in the middle, and then we'll just work our way all the way around the nose until the nose is secure. And that is how we form this cute, adorable little face. She is cute, even if I do say so myself. Now, I do white bunnies for girls, and when I make boy bunnies, I use gray socks. I suppose I could use brown socks too. You could make them out of any color you want. Since this is a little lady, we're going to tie a little pink bow around her head. I go around twice. We tie a bow with some tulle, and once I get it tight and secure, I shorten the tie, and then I use needle and thread, and I just kind of stitch it in place so that it doesn't come off, because you don't want anything to come off. You want everything to be permanent. And then I also tie a little bow to go on top of the head between the two ears, and I also stitch it on with a couple of stitches with the needle and thread, because I don't want it to come off. Now, to accent the mouth, since I've got it all sculpted, I could have done the sculpting with the pink, but I just feel more comfortable doing it with the white. I don't have to really pull or tug anything. Now, this is a embroidery floss. It's 6 ply, so I'm dividing it to 3 and 3. And really only one piece is all I needed. But I just kind of copied the same stitches that I had before without pulling it too tight, because I don't want to make it any tighter than it already is. So all I want is that color to show that division between the two cheeks and around the cheeks, just to show the mouth. And I do that with pink embroidery floss. I don't know the exact number. I didn't pay attention to that color, but any shade of pink will do. And then I make a little knot in the very center when I finish off, and then to hide the thread, I just kind of pull it to the cheek. I've already made a knot, and I just kind of pull it that way that the loose end is inside. Well, our little lady is finished. Now we just need to make her tutu. So with the tulle, and I've chosen pink, but it could be done in any shade of tulle that you want. Tulle comes in a variety of colors, so I could imagine it in turquoise or blue or teal or purple or whatever color, orange. Cut it into 1-inch strips, and then maybe about 10 inches long, and we're going to secure them to the hairband by just folding it in half and then pull the 2 ends through, and we just keep doing that until we have the entire rubber band completely full. And it usually takes about a half a yard, believe it or not, of these strips. And then when it's all done, I like to secure the tulle so that it doesn't get pulled apart by the child. I like to secure it with a needle and thread going all the way around it. Now, this is the only part that is going to be removable. So the little girl who plays with this bunny can take it off. But you know what? She can also use this in her hair. So it could be, decoration clothes for the bunny, but it could also be used in the little girl's hair, because actually it is a hairband. Oh yes, I almost forgot. We have to sculpt arms. Now I'm going to create a little bulge at the front have our arms come down the side, and then as if they were going to meet and fold in the middle. So we're going to kind of pinch it right there to create. We're going to start in the very center. I'm going to use a curved needle. I think it's a upholstery needle, because it just makes it a little easier to get in there and turn. And you have to kind of secure the first part of it. So I'm going to tie to itself to give me a starting point, so I have something to pull against. Make a few stitches to pull together that little bulge, and this is going to be the separation between the two hands. We're going to kind of create two hands coming together, and then we're going to just pinching it, but not too tight, and trying to keep the arms, trying to consider the shape of the arms, and just stitch back and forth underneath as we create the front of the arm coming over. When we get to the elbow, you're going to, in this inside, you're going to keep coming up in the same place, but you're going to change where you come out on the outside of the elbow to help form that elbow. Always check your shape. You don't want to pinch it too much or pull the thread too tight. At this point, I wanted to switch to my longer needle because it's easier for the outside to do the upper arm up to the shoulder. We just keep stitching back and forth and pinching it just a little bit. I'm sorry that I'm off the camera. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in what I'm doing, I forget to pay attention to what part's in the camera. And I think I did a pretty good job on this side, creating a shoulder a little bit wider at the top. And I'm going to come back all the way to the very center front because I have to do the other side. So having another row. So you can see this side's done, the left side's done, the right side is not done. It forms a nice little arm, sort of, a look of an arm. We just do the same thing on the other side, creating the arm on the left side. Again, the elbow, you kind of rotate around the elbow. And that's basically how you sculpt little arms. I didn't think about, well, I did the arms differently on the boy bunny, but I just felt like the little girl needed to have something a little different, so I formed her, and I think I made her upper arm just a little bit too skinny. Her shoulder's not the same size as the other side. I finish it off again back in the middle. Got a knot, and then we put on her tutu, and she is completed now. You might need to trim them just a little bit more, but there is our little ballerina bunny in a tutu. Isn't she sweet? I hope you have fun with your project, and if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.